Welcome back, friends, and if you're new, hello, my name is Tracy and welcome to my home here in Sussex, England. This week we are shop and haul. We are going to be doing a lot of shopping and a lot of hauling. But we're not just going out to regular stores, no, we're going to head to the auctions first of all, and I'll show you how I shop at auction. Then we're going to head to the thrift stores and we'll be doing some charity shopping, as we call them in England, or chazza shops. Then I think a little bit of TKMAXX and Homesense. Oh, and a couple of bits I've found on Amazon this week. There'll be some glimpses into my autumnal styling that's coming up next month, and a few clues on what I'm going to be doing here on the veranda. But first of all, let's head off to the auctions. This is my local auction house and I've been coming here for well over 20 years. Most of the pieces of furniture in my house have come from here. The thing I most love about auctions is that you just never know what you're going to find. This is probably why I like TKMAXX and Homesense so much, because it's very much the same principle. Stock moves very quickly and again, you just don't know what's going to be on the shelves. Now, auctions can go on for many hours, particularly if there are lots and lots of lots. So I have a way around that, and I never actually sit through an auction. I go on a viewing day like today, I have a good rummage around, anything I like the look of, I make a note of the lot numbers. I go to the desk, speak with the porters, find out if any reserves have been placed on the items. If not, I'll go back and I will look at each individual piece again, decide what I think it's worth to me, and then I will fill out a form like this, which instructs the auctioneer to bid on my behalf. I put down the highest figure that I'm prepared to go to, knowing that the auctioneer is allowed to go one bid over that. Remember that the hammer price is not the price you're going to pay. You do need to add on whatever that auction house's fees are. So it's always best to check before submitting any bids. Also remember, you've got to get your items home as well. So you need to see if the auction house does delivery or has relationships with local couriers if the items are too big for you to transport yourself. So many auction houses now offer their bidding online, so you can be bidding at auctions anywhere in the world. And I know through talking to the auction staff here, actually this is where people come unstuck because they forget about the delivery. If you ever do find yourself in that situation that you can't transport or it's not going to be cost effective to, you can pay your bill and then resubmit that item into the next auction, and you never know, you might sell it for a higher amount and make a profit. Hey, you're a dealer. There's a little corner outside where they put the rubbish and anything that they just don't want anymore, and it's free for you just to pick up and take. I mean, look at this, oak chair, free, take it. I've got enough chairs, so I'm going to leave that for somebody else. But I have, however, picked up these 3 items. Now, yes, this truck obviously has seen better days, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do anything with it, but let's get them home and let's have a look and see what we can do. Can we salvage anything? Or is it all going to end up on the bonfire? Oh, I didn't leave any commission bids. There was lots of interesting things there, but nothing that really got my heart racing or that I was actually particularly looking for that I need. So I'm going to turn my attention to these 3 freebies and see what I can do with them. I've given the basket a good clean and sorted out the loose wicker. And on the box, I've decided to take the bottom off because it really is just shot. It's plywood, it's rotting. The nails are quite cute though, so I think I'm going to leave those in there just to add to the character. Now, I did think about just cutting another piece of timber to make a bottom, but then I came up with the plan of using some chicken wire. I bought this for a project ages ago and then just never used it. So I've given the box a good clean. I've cut the chicken wire and I've staple gunned it all the way around. I've dropped a little bit of wax on, bit of dark wax, bit of clear wax, but I'm not too happy with the raw edge of the wire. So I've got the glue gun out, the twine that you've seen me use so many times, and I'm going to wrap a double layer of that around the box just to tidy up those edges. Well, you've got to love a freebie, haven't you? In fact, 3 freebies. So how did the first one turn out? Well, there we go. So just wrapping that little bit of string around there has made all the difference. And this is going to be lovely now to go out into the garden to pick flowers for all my foraging when I'm going out mushrooming or picking up acorns. Gorgeous, gorgeous basket. So that's worked an absolute treat. I'm delighted with that. And here's the box. So you could use this both ways. I could have it that way with the chicken wire at the bottom and then fill it with candles, pine cones, put in seasonal greenery, twigs. But the way I am thinking that predominantly I'm going to use it is that way on the island, my big rustic island, and then use the chicken wire for putting the dried flowers in, grasses, floral arrangements, greenery arrangements. And these tones are going to work beautifully with the island. So this is going to be dressed, not now, but it is going to be dressed when I do my kitchen makeover for autumn. So look out for that one. And the trug, did it end up on the fire? No, it didn't, but it isn't my best makeover ever. It got a clean. I tried to get the slaps back in, but you know, one was broken. It's fine. It's got pine cones in, so it's not going to come into the house, but again, it would be great on the verandas, seasonally decorated. I think it's going to be fine. Freebie. So, as we didn't have such a great haul at the auctions, you know, these things happen. You're not going to find amazing pieces every single week. Let's head out to a thrift store, to the charity shop, and we'll have a rummage around, see what they've got in there, and see if we can pick up any bargains. Oh, I do love a bit of Chazza shopping. All those bargains you can find. And remember, a bargain is only a bargain if it's something you really want or need and it's at a price point lower than what you were prepared to pay for it. Just a word to the wise there, because we don't encourage overspending here. If you can thrift things, if you can make things for nothing, then all the better. So what did I get? Well, I was very discerning this week. First item I got was the cake stand. So I think this is going to be ideal in the kitchen. The colourway matches, it's very neutral. £3.49, absolute bargain. It's not old, it's Parlane. So that will be ideal for the cakes, particularly as we get into autumn. I like to start baking a lot more. I never have time in the summer, but in the autumn, I love that. I love to get an old film on the TV and cook away. So the next item I picked up from the charity shop is the tray. £5. £5, absolute bargain. Beautiful old wooden tray. I mean, you can see it's split in several places, but I quite like that. It just adds to the character of it. Now, I'm not going to do a massive amount to this. I'm certainly not going to be painting it. It's got little paint splatters and things on, so I'm going to give it a good clean up. I'll probably drop some wax on it as well, maybe a bit of clear, a bit of dark. I'll have a play around with that. And that you are definitely going to see in my autumnal, my fall styling decorating. So far I've spent £8.49 and I've got 5 items. But for me, that is not a huge haul. So let's head out now to TKMAXX Homesense. I absolutely love these places. During lockdown, when we were starting to be released and let back out into the world, never mind going off to see friends and family, that's where I headed. I could have kissed the ground as I walked in through their doors. I love it. Well, that was a fabulous trip, but what did I buy? Well, be still my beating heart. Look at this Angelica. It is absolutely stunning. I would say that's about 2 foot high. They are big, very, very big. And you know they are genuine bargains because of what's on the label. So for those of you that don't know how to read the labels at TKMAXX Homesense, this is £2.99, so of course I had to grab it. It was originally £42, so huge, huge discount, and you know it's genuine because there's a number 2. It's a code 2, and code 2 means that it's been on sale genuinely elsewhere at that higher ticket price. They are the holy grail number. That's the holy grail number to find in TKMAXX Homesense. Number 1, that means that it's been produced for TKMAXX. TKMAXX works with lots of big brands, and they very quietly, until people worked out what the coding was on these labels, very quietly, without publicity, produce products for TKMAXX to sell. But now we've worked out what the coding is, we know who's producing what for whom. Well, of course, at £2.99, I couldn't just buy one, could I? Because I do like to do big and over the top. So I bought 10. Love them. But that's only £29.90 for all of that. The only downside is there's glitter on them. Yeah, I know, not ideal. Fabulous for Christmas. We all like a little bit of sparkle at Christmas. I'm very rustic, very neutral, and lots of natural products at Christmas. So a little bit of snow spray, a little bit of glitter is passable. So what I'm going to try and do, because I'd like to use these in my autumnal styling, is I'm going to try and remove, maybe not all of it, but certainly on some stems, some of the glitter. So any suggestions, greatly received. But I am thinking I might try a bit of WD-40, see if that will loosen it off. Anyway, we'll see how we get on with those. Should we go on to the next item? So staying in that department, I also found the garlands. There were just 2 of those, so I bought both of them, £9.99. Now, okay, pinky purple, not really my colourway, but I have a cunning plan to change the colour slightly. So I'm just going to use craft paint and a sponge, put a good play on and lose myself for a couple of hours, just dampening down this colour. So again, you will be seeing these very shortly. Now, a bit of a confession here. 2 things I am not. I am not a Halloween person, and I'm not really a pumpkin person. So I am going to try and give a little bit of pumpkin action this season, but it's not going to be huge. I can't do it like my American friends. You do it so fabulously. I'm not even going to try and compete. However, my little token gestures towards the pumpkin season is this one, and this one was £7.99. It's quite heavy. Colourway is absolutely lovely. It's neutral, so I think that will slide in very comfortably with my decor. And this one, now obviously silver is not me. This was just £6.99 though, so I thought a nice paint effect on this. I've actually got some plastic pumpkins that I got off Amazon. That's part of my little Amazon haul. I think they're about £8 or £9 for a group of probably about 6 of them. Hideous, absolutely hideous, but they're going to be perfect for painting. So we might have a little pumpkin painting session in a week or 2. Now, my next item is the charcuterie board. Look at the size of that, £14.99. I thought that was quite a bargain. Let's take this off. So, isn't that Lovely, but I think I'm going to change the colour. So I'm going to get the sander on it lightly just to take off the finish, and then probably use some white oil stain, the Osmo oil stain that I use. And then there's a top coat that I can put on that will make it safe to use with food. So that is going to be fabulous for suppers, entertaining. You can get a lot on there. And also it will fit behind the range in the kitchen, layered up with some other boards. So really happy at that at $14.99. So while we're in the kitchen area, another couple of items I picked up. Tea towels. You can't go wrong with a seasonal tea towel. I always think if you don't want to spend any money, or, you know, funds are really quite tight, a couple of things you can always buy just to lift your spirits are maybe a new lipstick, some new nail varnish, and a fresh tea towel. It will just brighten your day. So these are $5.99. There were some lovely Ralph Lauren ones there, but they were, I think they were about $8.99. There were only two of them, so the value wasn't there. So yeah, lovely autumnal colours. Even got a reference to some pumpkins. That's about the extent of my pumpkin action, okay? Don't get overexcited thinking there's going to be any more, because there's not going to be. So pleased with those. I also picked up a couple of hand towels for the kitchen. Again, pulling out that kind of autumnal mustardy colour, which I think works really well with the neutrals that I've got in there. And they were just £2.49 each. Really good quality, down from £9.50. So next, I'm going to show you some items that I've bought for the veranda for my autumnal decorating that hopefully is going to be coming up next week. So please do tune into that one. Now, the first thing I got was a rug. Okay, this was marked up at $119.99. I actually got it for £79. So at this end of the veranda, we have the sofa, we've got a couple of chairs, a coffee table, and just having a rug underneath all of that brings the inside out. And out here on the veranda, I love to play with colour because I keep my palette very neutral in the house. So out on this veranda and on the cottage veranda, I play with colour. So to coordinate with the rug, I've bought two new throws. Now these were marked up at $24.99, but I actually got them for £20 each. And I bought them from TKMAXX online. Just love the colours in them. They're so autumnal, and it means you can bring in lots of different tones. They're woolly, they're just cosy. We love sitting out here all year round. So having a nice throw to cuddle up under is perfect. Now, whilst I was having a little rummage online, I found these pillow slips, cushion covers. Now, these are genuine bargains as well because they've got the number 2 code on them. They were £46.25 each. I got them for $9.99. The straw colour, I think, works really well. Picking up, it's almost like a mustardy, but it's sort of a faded colour, which works really well with my kind of vintage feel. And why have I gone for slips as opposed to just buying some new cushions? Well, 2 reasons. 1 is cost, and 2 is storage. So if you just switch the cushion covers, these, as I say, $9.99. It's a fraction of the cost of what I would spend on a new cushion. And also, they're so easy to store. I can just take off these covers. They'll all lay nice and flat in a drawer somewhere, and I'll run with these. So definitely the way to go if you want to save money, if you're limited on storage, but you still want to keep styling up your home for the seasons, just look at buying some covers. And these were such a good deal, I bought 6. Now, I mentioned Amazon earlier, so what did I buy from Amazon? Various little bits and bobs, ways of actually saving me money. So, for example, I've got lots of cushion covers that I do like to use. So rather than replacing those, I'm going to dye them. I've got a brown dye here. Now I've used this quite a lot, Dylon. It's brilliant. It literally just, the pod goes in the washing machine. Super easy, really intense colours, and they do last. So whatever I can link in the description below, I will do. I know some of you in America struggle to get hold of this on Amazon.com, but it is widely available on .co.uk, but I don't know how much it is on the shipping. So something to have a look at maybe. So I've got some brown, I'm going to have maybe a little dabble with some orange. Not sure about that one just yet, but you never know. Maybe for the cottage veranda. And then I bought a couple of the sort of sandy beige because I've got some bedding that I want to top up the colour. It's looking a bit tired, but it's linen, and so I'm hoping that popping that through the washing machine will revitalise it, and we all know how expensive linen bedding is. So for £6–7, you never know. I've ordered some Rub and Buff, which has arrived, and I've got 3 different colours here. This one's a new one that I've not used before, Autumn Gold. And these planters, I don't know if you can see there, and I've got one here, because I'm going to change the colourway on the veranda. Don't want to have to buy new pots here, and Rub and Buff can be used on the exterior. I'm thinking I'm going to change these to a sort of coppery, brassy, goldy colour for the autumn going into the winter, and then I'll recolour them for the summer. So these little tubes, super easy to do that, and a little goes a long way. I will probably only use, I'm guessing, about 1/3 out of each of these tubes in order to do these 2 pots. So really good value for money. I've also ordered some matte spray paint, chalk paint from Amazon. So a little can of that can completely transform a piece. Also, it's great for any dried flowers, grasses. I'm going to do my hydrangea heads. So where I've dried back the Annabelles, I'll keep some of them just in their natural colour, and then others I will spray different shades, different autumnal shades, even some blush pink in there, and some cafe espresso and colours like that. So it's always a good idea to have a rummage around your paint supplies, see if you do need to order anything ready for the change of season, because it can save you a lot of money. So that's my shop and haul. I hope you've enjoyed that, and it's given you some inspiration, some ideas on how to switch up your home for the seasons without spending huge amounts of money. I'd love you to join me next week when we're going to be working on the veranda here, and we're going to get this ready for the autumn season. It's such a short season, isn't it? And I want to make the most of it. So I think I'm going to do this one first because this is where I spend most of my time, and I want to be able to enjoy all those beautiful autumnal colours for as long as I possibly can. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great week, and I really hope to see you next time. Take care.